I decided last night that I wanted to film a video about the new Jenna Ortega makeup look that Melissa Iglesias did. Melanie Iglesias. I hope that I'm saying that right, and I don't think I am. She did a makeup look for the Wednesday season 2, not finale, that's the wrong word. Oh my god, what is the word I'm looking for? For the premiere of season 2 of Wednesday. The look, it has like bleached brows, and I've been wanting to do like a bleached brow makeup look for a hot minute. And I saw her look, and it's like a soft goth, very wearable makeup look. I guess it depends on how wearable you think bleached brows are, or like very blonde brows. I'm gonna show you some pictures somewhere here on the screen of the look so you can see kind of like a close-up of the inspiration that I'm going for, or like what I'm trying to recreate. So the other thing too that I'm gonna point out is some things that I read from the interview with the makeup artist Melanie. She wanted an editorial red carpet moment both together. Like she wanted that kind of hybrid situation. So she apparently used Barbara Sturm Glow Drops, which I'm not going to go out and buy new products for this. I'm just going to use whatever I have. Dior Forever Skin Foundation, beautiful foundation, but also again, I'm not going to go out and buy anything new. And then a Lumeo, which also I'm not going to use any magical device to help me achieve my makeup today. That's crazy. We're not doing that. We're not doing all that. We're just going to do the makeup as I perceive it. Blush was purposefully skipped, a decision she calls a little goth, little glam. And then Dior Rouge Lip Contour Lip Pencil in the shade 400. Again, not going out to buy anything new. We're just going to go use what I have. And that's it. Also, as you've noticed in the look, like it does give kind of like Mia Goth, but also kind of latexy snake skin. Like it's a definite like ethereal goth moment. It's a very cute vibe. So I just wanted to, because of the dress and because of like the overall like look or vibe of the look, I should say, I wanted to recreate it. Plus, I love Wednesday. I love that show. Let's just get started into the look. I'm still trying to figure out which products I'm going to use exactly because I have nothing that this makeup artist used, which is fine. I'm sure I have the same colors of the stuff, you know. There was just something about the look yesterday when I saw it that I was like, let me just do that real quick. The look itself, as you can kind of see from the pictures, they definitely used a contour shade of some sort. They used something to kind of make her cheeks look more hollow than they are. And definitely the eyeshadow that was used is going to be like cooler tones. Radiant skin. Okay, so I'm seeing taupes, beiges, grays, and it looks like a hint of like a slate teal color. I wish that they would have said what she put on her eyes. So one of the palettes I think I'm going to dig from is going to be this Huda Beauty palette. I may or may not use any colors from this, but the pictures that I saw are kind of giving this vibe. I also think I'm going to be using possibly the Sultry palette, the original one by Anastasia, because there's a lot of these more neutral mattes in here. The eye isn't super dark in these pictures, as you can see from the pictures I did show you. So I don't want to pick out something that's going to be overbearing or overpowering and kind of take over the look. And the last palette I may use is going to be the Melt Mary Jane palette, because again, there's some nice neutrals in here, but there's not a lot of shine and shimmer happening in these images. So we're going to see what I actually am going to use and go from there. I'll let you know as I'm going through. First, I'm actually going to do the brows first. That's where I'm going to start and then go from there. As you can see, I have quite dark brunette eyebrows, so we'll see how I can cover. I was thinking about using the Made by Mitchell Sludge Box and just either taking this blonde and making it platinum, or just using the plain color case, because there's like a whitish color. Like this looks like platinum to me. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty platinum-y. Like maybe if I mix a little bit, I can get that kind of platinum tone. So I have my clean palette in front of me. So my thought process is going to be to take this kind of bone color and mix a little bit of that blonde into it. And I think tone-wise, I still want it a little bit lighter. I think that looks better. That looks a little bit more correct. I have this little itty bitty brush that came with my makeup Made by Mitchell makeup, and I'm gonna use that to pick up the product and apply it in my brows. I might need a little bit more coverage than this. And I'm just kind of applying it like a brow gel, if you will, like just making sure I get it in between all of the hairs, because I can clean that up later. Like, that's an easy cleanup. But I just want to get all the hairs coated with the product, and then I can brush it the way that I want it. And I do love the look of a bleached brow. I just don't know if it's like a look for me for every day, you know what I mean? There's some people that can really rock it, and I don't know if I'm necessarily one of those people. I look insane. That's fine. I wish I had a gel of some sort or something that had color in it to kind of help with this situation. I'm gonna just take a random brush that I have and pick up an eyeshadow powder called Fresh from my Anastasia palette, and I'm just gonna place some of that over the hairs and see if that helps kind of cover them up better. I'm just gonna take the lightest color from that color case called Coconut, not the white shade, but the cream shade. And I'm just going to take it straight back over these hairs. Yeah, maybe that's a better effect. I think that's working a little bit better. It's just because my hairs are so dark that I felt I needed to do that. And then I'm just gonna take a spoolie and kind of comb through and place the hairs where I want them. Okay, so first things first is I'm gonna prime my eyelids. I have totally clean lids. And from what I can tell, it's a mostly matte eyeshadow look with taupe. Like, there's definitely a taupe situation happening there. And with my lid already prepped, I'm gonna go in with the shade Twig from my Anastasia palette. I'm going to apply the way I'm seeing it in the picture, which is like here, they created this contour shade from the inner brow. I noticed that. And then it's dragged into the crease, like so. So it's inner corner, drag, inner corner, drag. That kind of shape. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna apply a touch more. Inner corner. And then we're dragging it out here. And I'm slowly building up the color. I'm not going in full ham with color because it's easier to apply little by little, but it's really difficult to reduce. You basically have to start over. So inner corner, under the brow bone, definite smokiness there, and then it's dragged out. So I'm going to keep following this shape until I get that kind of desired depth that I'm looking for. I'm going to go in with the shade Rubia from the Melt Mary Jane palette. And I'm just going to, yeah, there we go, deepen that just a touch. And I'm choosing a duo fiber brush for this just because it's going to give me precision, but it's also going to be able to blend a little bit. So I have a lot of control over the amount of product that's being laid down. And there's definitely like a smokiness that happens here. So I'm going to make sure I blend this area too. Just gonna add a touch more of the Rubia. I'm gonna blend just a hair upwards, just a hair. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna take a packing brush and I'm gonna pick up this beige color from the Huda Beauty palette, and I'm just going to apply that under where I applied the rest of those shadows. And I'm just going to follow the crease. It looks like she kind of like softened the crease from the lid, like so. Like she just kind of like blended it upwards into that crease, not to create a cut crease or anything like that. Like she kind of cuts that crease just a touch, but it's more like to soften the overall crease, if that makes sense. So that's the kind of shape. It's kind of like 20s, a 20s shape, but that's kind of what that is what I'm seeing in the picture. That's how I'm interpreting it. The next thing is it looks like we have a slightly smoky lower lash line, so I'm going to prime my eyelid at the bottom. Just apply some of that primer at the bottom of the eye, right here. I'm gonna take again that twig color and I'm just gonna kind of like lightly dust my lower lash line with it, like so. And then I'll take Rubia and deepen it just a touch. I don't think they really covered her bags, so am I gonna cover my bags? No. Why would I do that? I think they just put the foundation all over and didn't conceal. That's honestly what I think. It's not like an overly perfected look. I know the brows are a little bit too perfect, but I don't have bleached brows and I ain't gonna do it. This looks good. We're on the right track. Now we need the pencil liner. In different pictures it looks a little bit different, but in this picture it looks like a muted teal. I don't think I have a muted teal. I'm looking in my giant collection of eyeliners here and I don't believe I own a muted teal. I was thinking about using this ColourPop one. If I smudge it out and then put a touch of green over it, I think it'll be fine. The rest of my eyeliners are too green. You saw my little collection there, and I decided I'm just gonna use this outer space metallic eyeliner. It comes out a little bit blue, which is okay. If I smudge it, it's gonna be fine, and this is a very smudged out look. I have my pencil brush handy, my handy dandy pencil brush. With this look, it's just smoked out to the edge, but it's not necessarily like a cat eye. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look down into my mirror and I'm gonna start at the outer half of my eye. And I'm just going to smudge that liner. I don't want it to be super high impact. That is not the goal. Goal is to get a base color down. Then she also doesn't have anything on the waterline. She just has it tight lined close to her lashes again. So I'm just going to take that same pencil and brush and just smoke out the bottom lashes. She has it more all the way in, so I'm going to bring it all the way in. It's really hard to tell if it's like teal or if it's slate, like a blue-gray, just because the different pictures, they have different saturations. I wish that the artist would have said what eyeshadows she used on her, but that's fine. I think I need to bring a little bit more drama to this outer corner here. Yeah. That's more or less what I'm seeing in the picture. Yeah, it's like very hyper close to the inner corner of the lashes. And then it's smoked out like so. And I want to say that this is meeting here. That it meets a little bit. Just like a touch, not a lot. Like there's a slight V situation happening, but nothing crazy. And I'm just gonna go back in one more time right there. There's like a very subtle smoked out kitten wing happening in the image for sure that kind of brings it to that brown spot. Problem is she doesn't really have hooded eyes and I do, so I have to make this work my own way. I think I have the eye down. I think I did. I think I did it. There's another piece of the puzzle that I need to add, which is like this shimmer situation that she has going on. And I've seen it in different pictures, and it's like very light, like not light as in a light color, but like it's dusted on lightly, and it matches her skin tone, but it kind of shines pink just a little bit. I have a color exactly like that. I'm going to take a small smudge brush and I'm going to take the shade Pearl out of my Anastasia Sultry palette. Okay, and I'm just going to pop that right on the inner corner right here. And she kind of has it dragged a little bit, just a touch, into the smokiness, just like that. It's not a lot. It's just very, very subtle. Very, very soft. And this is the thing, again, in the carpet, in the premiere, it looks like there's a little shine happening here. I'm just going to drag along the lash line until it meets that dark denim navy. Pretty. Very subtle, very soft. The way that gel pencil smudged out, it just looks like kind of grayish too, so that's good. That looks really good. I'm happy with that. I mean, honestly, at this point, I just need to do the other eye and add on mascara, and then do my complexion. So I will come back once I'm done with my other eye and show you the complexion. The next part is the skin. It's very natural looking skin, very lit from within, but not hyper dewy either. There is some dewiness happening, but it's not anything crazy. Essentially, the artist wanted the focus to be the fact that her brows are bleached. She did some like very soft, sexy goth eyes on her that made her eyes look very big and bold while also not being overly dramatic, and then a darker lip. She wanted to obviously keep the skin soft. So what I'm doing is prepping my skin with the Embryolisse Creme Concentrate, which is like my favorite moisturizer before makeup. I actually recently just tried their retinol version and I hated it. So I'm very much attached to just this specific formula. The other one stayed like really greasy. I just wanted it for the anti-aging benefits, but you know, can't get everything. Can't have everything you want all the time. And yeah, my skin definitely didn't like it. And I think I was allergic to it because my eyes would water every time I put it on my face. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my MAC Studio Radiance foundation. It's medium coverage, but since my primer is still like on the skin wet, I think it'll be not too concentrated in pigmentation. Hopefully. You know what? I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter in coverage. I'm gonna mix it with my moisturizer. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna mix my moisturizer and foundation together. And it's just gonna give me a more naturally luminous skin as opposed to coverage. Like, I don't want huge amounts of coverage because her skin doesn't have lots of coverage either. And they let her natural darkness under her eyes kind of show through. That's what I'm going to try to do here. I'm just going to like spread all over just to balance the skin. Something like that. Like naturally luminous, glowing from within kind of a vibe. I didn't put a heavy coverage under the eye because I feel like with the type of features that she has, which is kind of like goth dolly, to be honest. Like, I can get why Tim Burton really likes her look. With this look, they allowed her natural bags to kind of show through a touch, and then they also accentuated her cheeks. Like they contoured a little bit on her cheeks and allowed her facial structure to be more predominant. It was giving like kind of romantic, kind of alien-esque, soft goth. That's just like the best way to describe the makeup. They skipped the blush. They definitely contoured a little bit. Like, there's just no way that her cheeks are like that gaunt looking without them contouring just a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my e.l.f. palette, and I have like an olivey bronzer in here, which tends to look a little bit more like a contour when I use it. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm just going to go under my cheekbones like so. So, and then up. Yeah. See what I mean? It doesn't look super bronzy. It's a nice bronzer. I really like it. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Under the cheekbone and a little bit down. And then you can blend upwards. I'm not a huge fan of fan brushes, but when I want a really light hand like this and get a nice like even blend, I do tend to like fan brushes. Everyone liked them for highlighters in the 2015s and stuff. I did not. I hated that. But I did like it for applying powders and bronzer and contour. Go figure. And this is where I'm going to use my imagination a little bit because they contoured her cheeks, like I believe they did. I'm also going to apply a little bit of contour like in the hairline. I just don't think that they were going to contour one spot and not contour the rest. So that's what I'm going to do. I feel like I have to tie in the fact that my cheek is contoured with the rest of my face. And the only way I know how to do that is by doing a very subtle contour kind of around my hairline, like so. Which you're really not going to see much of it anyways once I take my hair out of these clips. And then, because I enjoy doing it, this isn't required in this look at all. I'm just going to do a little bit down my nose because I like that look. And you know what's interesting? It says that they skipped blush, but to me in these pictures, it looks like she is wearing blush, which makes me think that they just took a rosier bronze shade and applied it on the front of her face just a touch. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take it, and it looks like they just did the apples like so. Nothing crazy. Sometimes I don't believe these artists. Sometimes I feel like they lie because they don't want people to know. Because definitely on her page, like on her Instagram page, this makeup artist, she posted a retouched image of Jenna, and there's definitely a kind of warmth or like warm glow happening as if there was a blush. So that's why I am gonna go in with the kind of rosier toned bronzer and just do it on the kind of apples of my cheeks. And maybe she didn't use blush, maybe she just used a bronzer like I'm doing, but I just find it hard to believe because when I'm looking at the image again and I keep looking at it, there is like some kind of something on the cheek. We're almost done with the look. The last part is going to be the lip, which it's like a brown nude. Like it's quite literally a brown nude. So I'm going to see what I have in my collection that could possibly work because I don't know if I have anything quite as similar, but we will see. I think I found the pencil that I'm going to use. It's called Conspiracy by Urban Decay, and it is definitely like a cocoa brown nude color. I'm just going to go in on my lip, and it didn't say that they used a lipstick, they just used a lip pencil, so that's what I'm gonna do. It looks very similar to the picture, this color, and I'm wondering how similar it actually is. Like I kind of want to go see if this is a dupe. I just don't want to buy a Dior lip pencil. That's crazy. I wanted to add one more touch, which is like actually a contour powder. So I did that e.l.f. kind of all over the cheek, but I did want to just apply a touch of this contour powder by Melt. I think they discontinued it, which is so sad for me, but hopefully they'll come out with something the same color but a better formula. I don't know, but it's quite literally my perfect contour shade and I'm very, very sad about it. So just kind of contouring that under part just to give me more of that sucked in cheek look, more of that like Burton-esque style cheek. What do we think about this pencil? Like, do we think it's close? I'm gonna put the pictures up one more time so you can kind of see what I have going on in comparison to the pictures, and you kind of tell me what you think. I think it's very, very close just based on the different images that I've been looking at. When you have different types of cameras and you have indoor, outdoor, you have phone cameras, you have fluorescent lighting, you have all these different types of lighting and then different people doing different edits, it's kind of hard to truly capture the essence of the original image. Even the makeup artist did edit the photos. I'm gonna assume she didn't edit the saturation where it would be unnatural to what she was actually wearing. So based on the makeup artist picture, this looks very, very comparable to whatever Miss Jenna Ortega has. This is going to be the finished look. I just put my hair down so you can kind of see the overall vibe. I do like the look of the bleached brow. I think it's actually very fun, very cute, and it makes me kind of want to bleach my brows, but also that's really high maintenance because then I have to like do my makeup really cool. I feel like I would have to do my makeup really cool all the time. I don't know. Maybe that's in my head. But I like that look. I think it's very different. I think it's a different way to be edgy without being overly dramatic. I think the makeup is very pretty. It's very soft glam. It kind of looks a little bit 90s to me, just in the tone and then the way that the eyeliner was used, kind of almost fully rimming the eye. And I really like this pencil. I mean, I bought it, I own it, and I have owned it already for a few months, so we already know that I like it, okay? I do really like this. I think it's very pretty. I think it's very close to the pictures, the inspiration pictures. I think it's very close to the overall concept and colors, I should say, that were used in the picture based on not really knowing what those colors were. If you enjoyed watching this video, check out my Instagram and my TikTok as well. I am posting like short form content there. I'm gonna start probably posting some long form content there as well. I'm just trying to kind of figure out what I'm trying to do. But if you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up, comment below your thoughts, opinions, if you want to give this look a try. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and then smash the notification bell so you don't miss an upload from me. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.